Hello everybody, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Well, I saw this on Truthdig. Global warming is here, just ask fishers. So this article is pretty intense. It goes into basically just they've been doing studies of marine life and mainly fishermen in various areas of the planet and what they're noticing. So it's pretty alarming. In the last 80 years, there has been an estimated drop of more than 4% in sustainable catches for many kinds of fish and shellfish. That is the average. In some regions, the East China Sea, for instance, and Europe's North Sea, an estimated decline was between 15 and 35%. But don't worry, there's no climate change. Just ask Sean Hannity and his $2,000 suit. Global average temperatures have crept up by about 1% above the average for most of human history as a reaction to the unconstrained burning of fossil fuels. If the world continues to burn ever greater volumes of coal, oil, and natural gas, it could be 3 degrees warmer or more by the end of the century. Last year was only the fourth warmest air surface temperature, but the warmest since records began for the world's oceans. And what the article goes into, when the oceans warm up, it kills certain marine life. It makes some marine life move to colder, which changes everything. The ecosystem is a very delicate balance. Now, the people that are paid by the fossil fuel industry will tell you, it's a bunch of liberal hooey, but it's real. Go to your local pond and pour, 10,000 gallons of warmer water and see what happens. Pour a bunch of motor oil in there, see what happens. Dump a bunch of plastic in there and see what happens. Do your own experiment. U.S. researchers report in the journal Science that they looked at the impact of ocean warming in 235 populations of 124 species of fish, crustaceans, and mollusks in 38 ecological regions between the years 1930 and 2010. Pretty extensive research. Olaf Jensen from Rutgers said, fish populations can only tolerate so much warming, though. Many of the species that have benefited from warming so far are likely to start declining as temperatures continue to rise. So they found some studies that some fish populations actually, they got better with the warming, but that's short-lived. First and foremost, there's two things. The warming sea temperatures has negatively affected way more fish and marine life species than it has positive. That's without a doubt. And they're saying even the ones that did enjoy a positive benefit from warming oceans, that's going to be short-lived if the temperature keeps rising. Breathable air, drinkable water. Without that, the human race cannot live. Researchers have consistently warned that global warming and climate change, especially when combined with changes in ocean water chemistry, as a consequence of carbon dioxide buildup in the atmosphere, could soon start to constrain an important source of nutrition. An estimated 3.2 billion people rely on the sea for an estimated 20% of their animal protein, especially in East Asia. Not to mention the economic impact. These 3.2 million people that rely on 20% from the ocean, there's a whole infrastructure in place. The fishermen, all of the distribution of it, all of it. I live by the coast, I see it. And I've traveled to like Japan and island nations where the majority of their diet comes from the ocean. So what happens to that economy? What happens to all those jobs if the fish aren't there anymore? Not to mention the fact that soon we're going to be dead. What's that going to mean? But no, let's keep babbling on about Russia and the bullshit border wall. Let's keep talking about that. This isn't that big of a deal. Just half of the planet that survives on seafood. And we have this kind of idiocy that's put out there. Climate change is an obvious myth. How much more evidence do you need? Many people just refuse to accept the facts that surround them, even if we saw Paid for by the oil lobby. I got my article from truthdig.com, which is a non-for-profit, not non-for-profit, but they are viewer supported, right? And they keep wanting to turn a blind eye to the realities of this. We're going to see it. Especially when, like, the right, the Republicans and everybody always talk about, oh, jobs, jobs, jobs. The two things that they always seem to blow past are, one, what happens when all of these jobs start to go away? And two, how many jobs could we create with a Green New Deal? Not to mention sustainable fishing, the research into cleaning and fixing the oceans. I said this before, a proper Green New Deal has all of this implementation in it of R&D, research and development. So you implement it correctly, all of these things get fixed. New jobs are created. Marine life is protected, which helps 3.2 billion people's well-being, health and financial well-being. So it's something we all need to pay close attention to. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. And please go to grahamelwood.com to support the show. Go to the Progressive Comedy Tour. Ron Placone and I are going March 10th through the 13th. Lafayette, Louisiana, Oxford, Mississippi, Pensacola, Florida, and New Orleans. April 12th through the 15th, we are going to Fort Worth, Texas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin. See us in the Lone Star State. In May, we are going to Salt Lake City and Boise, the 11th through the 13th of May. And then June 12th through the 19th, and we may extend that, we're going to D.C., Baltimore, 2 nights in Philly, New Haven, Connecticut, New York City, and Boston. GrahamElwood.com. Like, share, subscribe, push the videos out there. Appreciate you watching.